we've got the Steelers going up against the Broncos. The Steelers have a fantastic offense. They have had so all year. Their defense is looking better. They have been since they beat the crap out of the Panthers. So, yeah, the Broncos don't stand a chance at all in this game. Pittsburgh is going to be all over them. That being said, the Broncos' strengths line up with a couple of things that people should think about when doing their lineups for fantasy football. James Conner may not have his best game here. The focus from the Broncos' defense will very obviously be James Conner. They actually do pretty well against running backs. The only one they weren't able to stop or at least slow down this season was Todd Gurley, and nobody's been able to stop that guy. So I don't really fault them for that. James Conner's not Todd Gurley. He's a product of the offense. So he has talent. Don't get me wrong. But much like Le'Veon Bell, I think he's getting a bit overrated. The offense really makes running backs look great in Pittsburgh. That's why James Conner all of a sudden looked fantastic and was an instant fantasy running back one as soon as Le'Veon Bell was out of the picture. It's just a product of the offense. Their wide receivers take a lot of stress off of the running game. You have Antonio Brown, you have Juju Smith-Schuester, and you have a quarterback that's very capable of getting those two men the ball. So, yeah, nobody can key in on the running game. They have to worry about those receivers that can take the top off of the defense. That being said, I do still think that the Broncos do better against the run than they do against the pass. James Conner is still a running back one, but he's probably not going to have his best game. Antonio Brown is slowly coming back, and Juju Smith-Schuster is slowly moving forward. Soon you're going to see that transition, maybe even as soon as next year, where Smith-Schuster becomes the most important receiver for this team. Because of the defense they're going against with Chris Harris, they're probably going to lock Harris up on one of them. Now, were it me, I would take a page out of the Saints book. Take your best corner, lock him up one-on-one with their second receiver, and put bracket coverage on their primary receiver with a lesser corner. That worked really well for the Saints last week. It would really work well for the Broncos in this game. They're probably not going to do that. That's not the way they play. Harris is likely just going to stay on one side of the field. So both Antonio Brown and Smith-Schuster are going to do well. Brown and Schuster are both in the wide receiver 2 range because I expect them to have a lead so early that they're not going to need to throw the ball a lot in this game. Ben Roethlisberger is a QB1 like he is every week because he runs this offense so well. On the Broncos side of things, Emmanuel Sanders is a worthwhile play every week, at least a wide receiver 2, going forward ever since they got rid of Demaryius Thomas. And the other people worth thinking about are Cortland Sutton, who is a borderline wide receiver 3, and Phillip Lindsay, who's a flex play. Lindsay gets some play in the special teams, as well as a receiver out of the backfield and a running back. They're starting to learn how to use him better, and in the past few weeks he's done some decent scoring. It's not going to be good for them against the Chargers, though, so he's a flex at best. Don't get too excited there.